Hello, everyone. Appreciate for everyone's joining us tonight. Our insightful conversation will begin within 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Please keep your seatbelt fastened. We will begin very shortly. Hello, everyone. This is Vince representing Talking Web 3. I'm very happy to be able to moderate tonight's conversation with our beloved guests. I will get them introduce themselves later. And yeah, I will do a quick intro of myself. This is Vince, co-founder of Talking Web 3. Tonight, we are going to drive deeply into a super hot topic at the moment. I believe this is the most trending topic over the year within the Web3 and AI space, which is AI feed deeping explosion, exploring how hardware is reshaping real world data value. We will explore how AI and smartphones are evolving the deepin landscape and also unlocking new value from real world data. I'm very excited for diving into the topics we are preparing tonight. And we will have our fantastic guests introduce themselves first. Firstly, let's welcome Joseph, co founder of OKZOO. Hello, Joseph. Can you hear me?
Hi, Vince. Yeah, can hear you very well.
Yes, amazing, amazing. Would you like to give our audience a quick intro of yourself?
Yeah, of course. Hi, my name is Joseph. I've been in crypto for over 10 years. In the beginning, the first few years, I was mainly in the media space. So I was editor at Cointelegraph, and then I was working with Forbes for their crypto strategy. And then I was in the biggest crypto VC in Asia for about 2.5 years. And last year, I left the VC world to co-found OKZOO.
Amazing, amazing. What a great experience. And yeah, as we in Web3, yeah, it's quite rare to have such great talents like you. It's our great pleasure. And also I believe we have your co-founder, Palis. Palis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, amazing. Would you also like to have a quick intro of yourselves?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Palace. I've been working full time in crypto for 5 years now. And before that, I was working in tech in San Francisco Bay Area, where I'm based, and have been primarily working in product and also in tokenomics in a handful of crypto projects over those years. uh, Mainly on the decentralized side of the crypto industry.
Amazing, amazing. And I believe we also have Jack, uh, the BD lead of 4E. Jack, are you there?
Yes, I am. Um,
Awesome, awesome. Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
so I'm the BD manager for EMEA region at 4E. It's a pleasure to be here. So 4E is a comprehensive financial asset trading platform. We offer a diverse range of financial products, from spot trading for futures, forex, stocks, commodities, indices, and more. So what sets us apart is our commitment to provide a one-stop trading service with secure, convenient, and innovative financial products designed to help investors achieve a better risk management and investment returns. What we're discussing here today is very exciting and it's on the cusp of future kind of asset class as well. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. And also we have Brian, the ambassador of Dinar. Brian, can you say hello to our audience?
Yeah, hello, I'm Brian. I'm from the Dynamica. Dynamica is a privacy first stable coin system built on Aleo, and that's user safe spend and interact on a chain without give up control or reviving your identity. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Brian. And yeah, and last but not least, I believe we also have Argentit, if I pronounce correctly. Yeah,
Yeah, that's correct. Hey
amazing.
everyone,
Yes.
you can call me AJ, and I have been on crypto for like 5 to 6 years and promoting and working in crypto for 6 years around till now. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Yeah, it's our great pleasure to have you. Yeah, you have been a well-known KOL within the space. I can wait to hear more insights and opinions from you shortly. Okay, let's kick off the topic. So in the first topic, I believe we would like to like cut into the heart, which is about AI and DePIN and also smart hardware, like all these like puzzling um, topics. I would like to first hear from Joseph and Palace. Yeah, maybe you could start by telling us about OKZOO and what's your approach to bring these trending topics into practice and into production. It's quite fascinating to learn more about you and how you build everything, build this fantastic ecosystem. Yeah, would love to hear more from you and also more introduction about OKZoo.
Yeah, of course. So we've been building OKZoo for over 12 months now. And when we first began, we were really interested in the sort of DePIN space. And we were thinking, what are the ways we could make DePIN more interesting? Obviously, monetary incentives are really important. People should be able to make money by using that pin, but also how do we make it more sustainable and how do we make it generally more entertaining for users? And one thing that we came across within the DePIN space is that most DePIN space projects have this hardware that are quite boring. Obviously, there's really fantastic DePIN projects like Helium, for example, but most of the pin devices are really boring. There's not much you can do with it. And we sort of thought to ourselves, well, what if we could, design devices with a screen, it's portable, you can play games like OKZoo V2, like our AI pet app inside the device, but also it can do a lot of interesting things with the device. And what are some real world problems we can solve simultaneously while providing that entertainment value? And we sort of thought about a lot of things, but we at the end of the day, we ended up with the environmental data. So when you look at sort of metropolitan cities like Bangkok, Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, Seoul in Korea, or Tokyo in Japan, you can get data like air pollution and noise pollution and CO2 levels and all these things, but mostly at a city average scale. So, for example, you can know what the air pollution is in Tokyo for yesterday, for today, probably by looking at data provided by third parties, contracted by the government. But you cannot really get street level data when it comes to air pollution and noise pollution and CO2 levels. So we thought maybe we could use the OKZOO devices, which is called P Mini. So we could use these P Mini portable devices to better track this environmental data in a decentralized way, so that we have tens of thousands of people in the beginning, tens of thousands of people, but eventually we can have hundreds of thousands to millions of people that are tracking environmental data and providing that environmental data into the OKZOO network, which then can power very interesting, innovative applications that's using AI to provide more accurate and more sort of street level specific environmental data to people that need it. For example, if I'm traveling somewhere and I can see that the air pollution and CO2 levels and all these things are just way above the global average, then maybe I can carry a mask with it. So it helps a lot of real world environmental problems that we have at the moment, especially during times of emergencies. For example, if you have like a wildfire, or if you're in an earthquake, uh, when you have a lot of people having these kind of device reporting real time environmental data in very small sort of streets and cities and towns within a big city, it helps people understand raw, accurate environmental information coming from very specific areas across the world. So we thought that, okay, like we can make a very entertaining version of DePIN, but at the same time we can solve some really heart pressing issues that we have right now with the environmental data, and how most of the environmental data that you see on the internet, whether it's coming from government contracted agencies or it's coming from news agencies, most of this data can be biased or it can be outdated. It's one of the two. So we decided that we would integrate the smart pets that we have developed in our Tamagotchi game called OKZooB 2 into these devices, so that people can have fun playing games in these devices, but at the same time collect very important and crucial environmental data to create a vast network of AIoT machines that are supporting um, uh, unbiased and raw environmental information. So I think that's the core of what we're doing. So that's why we're pushing the narrative that AIoT is like a new DePIN, because we're solving real problems. It's more entertaining for users, and most importantly, like our devices are really really good, because we have internal and exclusive access to these hardware factories, that we can actually mass produce these devices. Because one of the key problems with crypto projects, and especially projects that are doing sort of production of devices, is that they cannot mass produce devices like Ledger can do. For example, Ledger can produce millions of devices, but crypto projects cannot do that. So I think OKZoo comes across as a unique project in that regard, because we can mass produce these really cool sort of phone looking devices that can support a lot of apps, including AI games that we've developed, and we're going to keep developing more AI applications, but also the DePIN and the environmental data side of things. Yeah, Palace.
Wow. That's yeah, that's very meaningful. Yeah, not just from business perspective, but also from the society perspective. Yeah, I believe yeah you are building such a meaningful projects, and yeah, and actually I would like to dive into a deeper layer. Given what you just share with the audience. Yeah, it's always good to dive deep in the beginning of the panel, because of yeah like audience attention is normally yeah more much better in the beginning. So I believe that AIoT is a new concept of this year. Like myself, I've been in the Web3 space from 2016. Yeah, this is my third bull cycle, and yeah, actually we have seen lots of I would say during the ICO times there were lots of like IoT concept projects, and in the former bull cycle, there were lots of like DePIN projects. But I think so far we did not really see any one of them being mass adoption. So I would like to also maybe learn more from Palace about how OKZOO will make a difference this time, given the AI infrastructure is a lot more mature this year.
Yeah, sure. So for anyone in the audience who's not familiar with what DePIN means, it's decentralized physical infrastructure networks, which is basically that we have, in the same way that the blockchain is a decentralized network of validators or nodes rather than a centralized server farm in one location. Uh, DePIN allows, like Joe was saying, us to have sensors in the hands of every individual, which can create a much more accurate landscape of information. And by getting physical hardware in the hands of individuals, it basically creates a decentralized network of data and information gathering. And that can be very useful for environmental data, as Joe was saying. And for example, something like VOCs, volatile organic compounds, which is a marker of air quality, that's something that if you have a sensor in one location in a city or a few locations in a city, you're going to get very localized readings. That's a very localized type of air quality marker. If you have a decentralized network of physical hardware devices in the hands of individuals, you can get a tremendously more accurate landscape of what the air quality in a given city is, including indoor air quality, which is very important as lots of people spend a lot of their time indoors, especially those of us engaged in crypto and tech. Um, so it can make a huge leap in data accuracy. Now the AI part is both in data analysis, making sense of that data, but also in the interaction with the user. Something that the IoT, the Internet of Things, obviously it made big strides with Alexa and all these devices that we have, but something that it lacked is the individual interaction with the user and the experience that's one to one with the user, and that's something that AI is going to bring in a new way that makes each device its own user's device, and that's something that our OKZoo Pets, our Tamagotchi game, really brings as an experience to the user, and it's kind of bridging the experience that users love and us humans love with things like DEPIN and data collection, and also bringing in blockchain incentives to create a product that people enjoy, can have a kind of a bond to, similar to a Tamagotchi device, which are regaining popularity after their popularity back in the 90s and early 2000s. And in addition to that, can make a huge leap in the data accuracy for environmental um, sensor data. So, we think that it's going to bring huge value on the data analytics side, but it's also AI is going to bring value to the user on the user experience side to make um, AIoT, much more useful and engaging to the user, especially integrated with blockchain, than just, what's traditionally been known as Internet of Things, having extra hardware devices, etc.
Gotcha, gotcha. Wow, I learned a lot from your sharings. Yeah, I think yeah, over the past few years, I think Web3 was quite limited to software aspect, and yeah, I believe you really like bringing the gaming guidebook of Web3 into like hardware or firmware layer, which is very fascinating. So, but like I think given the fact that to get user engaging with hardware, the cost is I believe it's a lot higher than yeah getting user to interact with a protocol. I would also love to learn from Jack and Brian about what's your idea or what's your experience about user acquisition concerning the hardware or firmware perspectives. Yeah, maybe Jack would love to share first. Is Jack there?
All right, I was muted. Yeah, no, I think
Oh,
this is a
okay,
really
okay. Oh, good.
interesting concept.
Yeah,
Like we're basically improving upon the existing kind of DePIN idea, and obviously what Joseph said, the Internet of Things. Um, I'm not an expert at this, so I'll probably leave more time to Brian with this stuff. But yeah, no, it's been very interesting sharing. And I would love to learn more as the CMA continue down and to know more and see what kind of innovation that we're trying to bring to this kind of, well, I would say rather stagnant space, because we've seen a lot of things already, and always welcome new kind of ideas and new ways to bring more value to users. Thanks.
okay, Brian, your turn.
Yeah, I'm here at the first question. Second question, right? So I think the in mm, I think engaging through the hardware is tough, but that's also what makes it powerful. For example, it's not just a device; it's how to say it's a feedback loop, real world actions, untrained rewards. So, for example, OKZOO, the manufacturers in house, no delays, no middlemen. So I think most of the projects talk about it. This one actually ships. That means they can move fast and embed insensitive like martini dinner straight into the experience. Yeah, that's my opinion. Thank you.
Got it, got it.
Yeah.
Maybe AG, would you like to share a bit about this topic? Are we having AJ here?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yes. Awesome.
Thanks, Vince, for letting me say. In this space, I have been for like 5 to 6 years, and I have seen many projects go by in front of me. And what really stands out in also for me is its AIoT angle combined with its V2 gaming system, which really reduces uh, the issue of user retention. What makes it a killer project is its in-house manufacturing system, which ignores the. Give me a second.
Oh, good, oh, good. Take your time.
No, no. Actually, I'm having some issues. Just a second. But what really make it a killer project is its in-house manufacturing that solves the DE pain point, which many projects generally ignores, and it gives also a significant strategic advantage over the market.
Yeah, because when we first started OKZoo, we were actually very curious about whether people like the experience of playing with virtual pets to begin with. So when we first released OKZoo in April of 2024, which is exactly 1 year ago, we didn't talk anything about DePIN or AIoT or any of our devices in purpose because we wanted to first test whether people like the experience of using virtual pets or not. So when we launched OKZOO V1 in April 2024, we ended up having around 7 million users, mainly because at the time there's a lot of Telegram mini apps coming out, etc. But we were still one of the sort of top ranked, sort of lightweight game at the time, and we didn't talk anything about that pin, about AIoT, etc. We just purely focused on delivering a good experience where people can interact with virtual pets, grow pets, raise pets, evolve pets, etc. Because uh, we were very conscious about making AIoT really fun and sustainable. So we really needed to test whether people just genuinely have fun playing with pet apps. And uh, in the beginning, we also did really heavy research on all the uh, games in the iOS store and in the Apple App Store, and we also realized that pet games for kids and also for adults are typically the apps with the highest level of revenue. There's some pet game apps that are generating hundreds of millions, I mean, annual recurring revenue on the Apple App Store. So when we got the data after 3 to 4 months of launching OKZOO V1 that okay, people love to play with virtual pets, we then started to work on an AI rendition of that, which is OKZOO V2, where pets essentially become smart pets. They're almost like AI sort of chatbots. So each pet talks to the user. Each pet generates AI prompts for users as well, and so users can have a more fun experience. On March 12th, we released OKZOO V2. The full functionalities came out a week and a half ago, and we already have close to 1 million users after just over a month of releasing OKZOO V2. And so I think with these number of users and the upward growth trajectory we see in the daily active, monthly active, and just total number of active users, KZUP2, I think when the devices start going into mass production and are distributed to stakers and all the users that we have, I think it's going to become really interesting in terms of retention. Because I think in crypto, there's probably tens of millions of users. Top projects claim they have tens of millions of users, and that's probably true. But at the same time, the retention of these users can be very low, because if they're just like users of Telegram apps or just software, they'll just highly likely just jump into the next shiny thing that comes. They'll just go to the next app that comes and try to farm the airdrop that way. But for us, we're trying to get as many high retention users as possible, sticky users that connect the OKZoo V2 game with the device as well. And as the device matures, and as the user base of the device also continues to grow, we're going to introduce P Mini O2, which is the next device that we're going to launch probably a couple of months after we launch the token. And we're also going to introduce OKZOO V3, which we're planning to create some open world sort of system where people can do more with their pets, etc. So yeah, I think our strategy has been working so far. There's a lot of excitement. There's that sense of surprise as well from people who didn't expect us to introduce a device like this. And I think yeah, I think when we start to mass produce these devices, it'll really differentiate us from a lot of projects out there that probably only can support a few hundred devices. Most projects have that capacity, but we have the capacity to support in the beginning tens of thousands of devices to potentially hundreds of thousands as we mature. So yeah, we were super excited about that.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, because I was working active in Tang ecosystem, like Telegram ecosystem. So I know exactly what you said about the retention rate. Yeah, I cannot agree more with yeah what you just shared. Yeah, I think yeah, the retention rate is definitely the key, not just for apps, not just for Web 2, but also for Web 3. And I believe that yeah, there were lots of yeah, the reason why there were lots of pump and dump happening in Web 3 is yeah, exactly quite like you said, like people, all the people, like all the wallets or all the exchange users, they are chasing topic after topic, trying to basically ride the next wave. And but as we all know, that there's no shortcut to success. So to be able to kind of build a fundamental value of a project, it's quite crucial to focus on retention rates and also like revenue data, etc., etc. So I would also love to learn from Jack about like from exchange perspective. How do you think that with maybe more projects like OKZOO, including hardware or firmware into the game, might bring extra value for the exchange ecosystem?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, I think these projects really create this entirely new asset class, right? It's backed by real world data and utility. Um, Exchanges like us, we're obviously constantly seeking tokens with strong fundamentals and practical applications. So projects leveraging hardware devices to collect environmental data, like OKZOO, that generate tokens with intrinsic value that tied to actual utility. Um, it's more kind of there will be more sophisticated traders and investors that's seeking that kind of projects, right? Because there's that real world asset that's there, with the verified real world data collected through these hardware devices, like the P Mini, I think that you mentioned. It would have tremendous value for these financial markets as well. Um, so by having these data, we can essentially build something, new things that we can trade, right? Because as an exchange, we want people to trade, right? This could be derivatives of or prediction markets or specialized indices based on environmental factors collected from these hardware devices, right? Obviously, I'm thinking out of the box here, but um, it would bring new ways for people to trade, right? It will bring new ways for people to speculate the market. Um, and as an exchange, obviously, we want more people to kind of, do speculation on different things and stuff. Um, so imagine the commodity traders, right? That has access to these kind of localized data. It would maybe influence, I don't know, agricultural futures. I'm just thinking out loud. There's ways where we can kind of link these prices. As you say, these devices do collect these data, right? By the value in this project is that data, right? By leveraging that data, we can kind of um, link it different ways to different uh, pricing indices and pricing algorithms that would allow more kind of financial products to be made. And yeah, also I'm quite excited about the integration opportunities that could enable seamless movement between AIoT ecosystems and trading platforms. So things that I've mentioned before, it's just ways that maybe that could be done, and that's never really been done before. It's very convoluted, yes. It's very interesting, yes. It needs a lot of people to kind of accept and kind of learn how these things would work. Um, but I think this is probably the most promising aspect is how these ecosystems kind of naturally complement each other. So DePIN projects need the liquidity and the market access that exchanges like us provide, right? While exchanges benefit from the innovation of these tokens with genuine relationship that creates value for both ecosystem and more importantly for end users. Thank
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. I think yeah, with the like AI era incoming, I believe that basically, yeah, data is the new currency. I respect your perspective that probably, yeah, there will be some new asset class. Yeah, I have no idea at the moment in my head. Yeah, maybe it will be a new token standard, or it can be anything. Yeah, out of
Yeah,
the
like
blue.
building a new kind of instrument from the usage of that data, right? It could be or provide it to the users to kind of better inform them through fundamental analysis of what they can do for different marketplaces. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that once this concept is like getting mature and mature, time by time, then I think probably, yeah, we are finally welcoming the moment of Web3 method adoption, which yeah, this concept has been discussed years after years. And yeah, maybe Paris would love to share more. Given Jack's sharing, maybe OKZOO might have some interesting roadmap, might be able to share with the audience.
Yeah, so based on what he was saying, absolutely, I think like new tokens that are tied to DePIN data can be a new way for investors to basically speculate on a new type of data. And more importantly, I think is a new quality of data. As I was saying earlier, I think DePIN and especially AI powered DePIN can really take a huge leap in the quality of data that we already have, like in environmental sensor data. Um, and I want to touch specifically on what he was talking about, what both the speakers were talking about with hardware and users um, and also retention. So I think what sets OKZoo apart from other DePIN products is really the value to the user, which will drive retention. So there's also the OKZoo Tamagotchi, the experience. We really are seeing the rise of virtual pets be very popular, both on like apps and on games like Roblox, but also the traditional hardware like Tamagotchis are making a revival because people are, having nostalgia for hardware. That the thing that got people into crypto originally was hardware, Bitcoin mining. And other DePIN products and projects, like for example, these people who are trying to do mapping, like kind of like Google Maps, but all over the world, or like um, you know, doing these crowdsourced like computer usage. If you take those examples, the data that the user is giving to the network is much more valuable to the network than the user. If you're mapping out the world with a DePIN project, you are adding a data point to this, geographical map. That one data point does not offer you much value at all. It's basically you're just giving value to the network. That is low retention. But with the environmental data that we're giving, specifically things like air quality, the actual data point, the one piece of data that you're giving to the network is actually much more valuable to you as the person who's collecting that data than it is to the network because you're the one who's physically there. Now, it might be useful to other people who want to know about that location or are near that location or maybe there as well. But the fact that the data is much more valuable to you as the person giving the data is what can drive retention and drive value to the users who are contributing to the network. And that's something that sets OKZoo apart from a lot of other DePIN projects. Of course, we also have the OKZoo AI digital pet experience, which we think is very strong and integrates gaming and has been tested over the history of OKZoo, and that's what Joe spoke to. And we have the numbers to show that people really engage with that. And so bringing those together, we really think that this can drive retention and then lead to the AIoT token, which can be a potentially open new doors to how investors can use this data, interact with this data financially, speculate on this data, as the other speakers were saying.
Fantastic. 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 Yeah, I think yeah, maybe Brian, maybe yeah, I think I believe you are the speaker representing DeFi protocol, and yeah, I would like also love to learn more from you about how you think that yeah, given what Joseph and Jack was sharing, what's your opinion, and how do you think maybe DeFi might be beneficial in this maybe we call it a new scenario, like an AIoT scenario?
I think how to say I think our dinner as same as OKZoom. We give a define something it's never had before. For example, real world, the verifiable behaviors. So I think with the dinner on Aleo, we can plug in that think leading or staking, the triggered by motion, present present presence or real world interactions. I think it's a private, programmable, and ZK by design. So I think no just hardware means finance. Th- That's the ZK native DePIN is the motion. I think. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I think yeah, there were this is definitely one of the most insightful panel I ever hosting. And next, I think yeah, I think AG, yeah, I believe that yeah, you definitely have lots of takeaways would love to share with our audience given the awesome sharings with our speakers. AG, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yes, yes, awesome.
Yeah, so what I would personally would quite interested on this project was its narrative environment with data feels fresh. It has 12 million users, which is currently the traction. The team is the quality of the team and the backend like Animoca plus the manufacturing capability tells me they have serious shot at the executing this big vision. They have been trying this very hardly, like they are serious on the work. They work to say. Looking at the backing and all, you can clearly say they are very serious on their work.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, appreciate yeah AG's recognition. Yeah, it means I believe it means a lot to Joseph and Palace. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And just for me to add a bit, like as Palace mentioned before, we do expect the environmental data to become almost like a new currency. That's why we also call our devices an environmental oracle, because I think for the first time, you see. Raw environmental data coming out that is not from sort of regulators and specific agencies, and I think people I think there is definitely a demand for that. I think that's the first thing, and the second thing is throughout the whole process for the past 12 months, we haven't just been creating AI decentralized applications, AI dApps. We've also been developing an entire AI infrastructure, which is a built from scratch infrastructure, so that we can actually develop AI applications very, very, very quickly. I mean, in Web 2, you're seeing this whole trend about vibe coding. People are creating lightweight games on Cursor in days, and there's hundreds of thousands of people playing these sort of vibe coded games. And we sort of wanted to do that too, not vibe code games necessarily, but we wanted to make sure that we have a infrastructure in place so that if we wanted to create some AI applications that's maybe related to gaming or some sort of pet experience, we can do that within a week or two. So we have that infra ready. So in the future, depending on how people use our device, we are definitely thinking about launching more AI dApps that's developed internally by us, launching maybe OKZOO V3 as well, and we're able to do this really, really, really quickly. Another reason why we were able to do this and other projects cannot is because we have exclusive access to computing power of one of the biggest AI chip factories in Southeast Asia. So we're able to leverage this, get extra computing power, and develop AI applications really, really quickly compared to everybody else. And so yeah, I think as the AI devices get more traction, we're gonna develop more games, more apps to power these devices, and I think people are gonna be excited about that.
Wow, I believe this is what is called exclusive resources, which it will be the game changer for OKZoo. Yeah, and I also noticed that OKZoo also utilize NFT to link digital assets to real world utilities. This is quite a interesting concept. Yeah, maybe Paris, would you like to share more about how you structure this function?
Yeah, absolutely. So with NFTs, the thing that people understand about NFTs and what NFTs as an asset did for the digital world is provenance. And what provenance basically means is like who owns what in the digital world. And NFTs had its bull run in 2020, 2021, and it hasn't been largely adopted by the world outside of crypto yet. But when it comes to provenance, the thing that people really associate with provenance is the physical world at the end of the day. And you see this with things like video games, right? Like people want to buy the hard copy, they don't want the digital download. The hard copies have resale value in the future. People feel like they own the hardware copy. The software copy could be, changed by the game manufacturer. It could be deleted. It could be like, discontinued or censored or whatever. And so the PNFT is what we're calling, which is the physical NFT, basically is bridging the world of the physical world to the concept of provenance of an NFT. And so, Joe can speak more on how we're going to be distributing them. We're going to have these auctions, and we're going to be um, having people bid on an NFT and then receive a physical device when they own that NFT. But the idea of a PNFT is basically psychologically getting humanity in general, people in general, to understand the concept of provenance in the digital world through something physical, which is where people currently attribute provenance, and that's something that people are very used to. And people are very used to having a digital version of something and a physical version of something, and we're trying to kind of bridge that over to blockchain, over to crypto, over to NFTs. And so that's kind of the thought behind NFT and what we're doing there.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I think over my past few years of observation about NFT, and I have been still quite confused about, because when we look at something, we always it's either product market fit or problem solution fit. Yeah, but yeah, like NFT doesn't make any sense to me, like especially over the past bull run. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. And yeah, as we see, it pump and dump. But yeah, I believe that with the concept of PNFT being introduced, with it's like a finally moment we can see something useful for NFT, then also to combine the blockchain technology with some like real utility happening. Yeah. Also, I would also like to learn from Jack about, yeah, how do you think this PNFT concept might be able to kind of renovate the Web3 space, and also what's your like core value proposition you have in mind?
Yeah, definitely. So I think these hardware linked NFTs fundamentally changes the risk profile of the digital asset, right? So when an NFT represents ownership or access rights to a physical device that generates ongoing value through mining or data collection, it creates that stronger value floor than purely speculative digital asset, right? So you're making it real, right? It's not virtual anymore. Okay, so um, as exchanges we're always kind of on the lookout for assets with that tangible utility that can sustain market interest beyond just hype cycles, right? So I think these NFTs create these new trading dynamics, right? Since I think called P NFTs, right? Are tied to physical devices that could potentially generate tokens. And there's a productive capacity element that traders can analyze and price into the market, right? So I think this introduced concepts from traditional markets like yield ROI periods and productive lifespan into that NFT space, making these assets more accessible to sophisticated traders. Um, Also, from a user engagement perspective, hardware linked NFTs creates that deeper connections with the communities and users itself. So when someone owns an NFT linked to a physical device they become this active participant in the network rather than just passive holders. This naturally can lead to higher rates and more engaged community members as well, which creates a healthier and more sustainable token ecosystem in the long run. Um, so, there's ways exchanges could potentially support this ecosystem by creating specialized marketplaces for hardware linked NFTs, right? Where essential metrics, for example, device productivity, data quality ratings, rejection rates, similar to what mining's been doing for years, right? But kind of more with a different layer or a different perspective. And we also estimate kind of mining yields are presented alongside these traditional market data as well. That way, we could develop a derivative product based on all of these data combined, and create these additional utility and trading opportunities. Um, yeah, no, obviously, I think one of the challenges would be ensuring the sufficient liquidity for these specialized assets, right? Creating optimized trading pairs between tokens and major cryptocurrencies or fiat currencies would also help maintain that market efficiency going forward. Yeah, so that's my view. Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, I think yeah, involving hardware into the game is definitely something fascinating. However, there's always like pros and cons. I believe that yeah, the user acquisition cost, and also to be able to convince a user to own your hardware is yeah, also another level, comparing to just download an app or just to visit the website. But yeah, I believe that yeah, maybe Joseph, you can share with us about your current state, like user acquisition experience. And yeah, I also noticed that you got lots of notable bakers, and maybe you can also introduce them a bit.
Yeah, I think you've seen, people like DCF God and Beanie talk about us quite a bit in the past few days. I think we have probably the most stacked list of OGs in the space in OKZOO, whether it's, the VC side, and also mostly on the angel side, we have the biggest sort of founders, meme founders, project founders, top influencers in Solana, Ethereum, BNB, etc. And I think with this level of backing that we have, I really think we have a very big chance that we can recreate a big paradigm shift in crypto, not just like having a new trend, but introducing a very innovative trend with a lot of hype and backing behind it. For example, with Move to Earn, you saw Steppen. It took crypto by storm, and you saw, for example, Pixels. I think we also saw it with Hamster Combat. I think all these projects that are first in their trend and are trend leaders can do a lot of big things. And with us, we're creating a new trend called AIoT. What we like to say, the new DePIN, the more interesting and entertaining DePIN. And I think, yeah, all the backers that we have, I think we have a very strong chance to create significant hype, to get people very excited about it. And I do think things like PNFTs do come into play when creating a very hyped community, because we're not trying to do like a 10K NFT collection and try to extract for the community. With a PNFT, it's actually going to be a daily auction on the OKZOO website, where one NFT is being sold every day. So there's only going to be 1,000 NFTs ever being sold across 3 years. And every NFT is linked to the P Mini devices. So if you have a P Mini device as an NFT holder, when the new P NFT device comes out, the P Mini O2, for example, as an NFT holder, you'll get those too. So we really thought carefully about designing the NFT in a way that you have real utility coming from real world devices that are collecting real world data, to make sure that your NFTs are generating revenues, generating utility, and I think that'll become very interesting for people, especially as we go closer to launching our token. So yeah, I think we're in a really good place. I think uh, our job is to make sure that the mass production is very smooth, which we're pretty confident about, and to make sure that the community truly understands the big vision that we have with the environmental data collection through a decentralized network of devices, which is the AIoT devices.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, that's wow. It's such an insightful sharings over the past 1 hour each time. I believe that we are about to coming to an end, and yeah, highly appreciate all the beloved guests, Joseph, Palace, Jack, Brian, and AG. Yeah, I would really love to invite everyone to give a round of applause for all the speakers, but yeah, we are not having the panel physically. So yeah, maybe yeah, everyone can just use the Twitter Space emoji like me to share your applause to the speakers. And yeah, I believe we are coming to an end tonight. Thanks everyone. It's my great pleasure to have you all here, and yeah, really looking forward to see you in the next space very soon. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone. And yeah, everyone can open your mic to say farewell to the audience.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Yeah,
Thank you,
really enjoyed
guys.
it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
guys.
you. See you next time. Bye.
See you.
Cheers, cheers.
Thank you for having me here.